What's up, guys? So we've got another deck profile today. Who am I going to be profiling?
Hello, I am Michael Broadbent. I got third place at, I want to say it was Reed's Legional the other day in the Royal Armories. It was quite a fun event. Wow. You can usually find me at Manascrew locals in Northampton.
Wow, awesome, dude. And you know, this is a really big locals as well. This is not locals, or regionals as well. This is 256 people. I think this has been the biggest one in a while that we've had in the UK. So definitely,
yeah, it was a pretty big turnout.
Yeah, really awesome job of taking third place. But yeah, your build is already looking spicy. So get straight into it, bro. Explain it to me.
Yeah, sure. I guess we'll just go from top to bottom. So, of course, you know, Arch Nemesis Protoss, the big boy, everyone hates and wants banned. I'm kind of of the same mind. I think it's kind of a bit too broken, but as long as everything else gets hit, it's fine. But yeah, no, it was fantastic all day. It was, as usual, just cool darks all day. There's also Fury, you know, like if you play against Burdock, you can summon it and then, like, you know, pop your own Baron, get a free turn popping win. It was pretty good all day. It's like, I think it really came to shine against, I played against Evil Twin and PK in the day, and that was pretty good. So yeah, as I'm sure everyone's noticing, this is like, what are these cards here? These are all going second cards: Lightning Storm, Dark Row No More, and Evenly Match. We'll get into that later, but of course the core of this deck is that it is a going second build. I will attempt to justify it in this video as to why it is the superior build. But of course, at the top we have free Tenyi Spirit Ashuna. Card's very good, locks you into worms, summons stuff. There's not really much more said, but if you open this in another 10, you're in a really good place because, you know, you can then Barsha spin 2 or just go straight into a level 8 and you get so much advantage. Vishuda was really good all day. Yeah, there's really not much more to say about it, unfortunately. It's just it's like the simplest one, and it puts every single Destroy Phoenix Enforcer player in a state of like perpetual terror because you summon it, and like there's no good point to like, you know, pop it. You just kind of have to wait for me to summon Monk, and then if he's gone, it's a 1-for-1 exchange that threats off the board. But it was really good all day. I can't think of any particular scenarios besides that, but, you know, it's really good like when you like bounce back row or problem cards. It's really helpful.
That card is a nightmare for sharks. Like, yeah, that's what I was playing, and you summon Vishudas, like you said. I have to pop a dead Vishuda on the field, which makes no difference. So, yeah.
Exactly, man. Yeah. Strange enough, I didn't play any Water Exceed all day, but I remember we had a regional at Manascrew, where I played two variants of that deck, and I had a terrible time against both of them. So, yeah, but it is really good at dealing with those really kind of hazardous problem cards. So say like Kraken or something. All right, so of course, I guess we'll just go in order, keep going. So then, long one, play free. I think everything that has been said about this card has been said by this point, but I guess you can make level 7 synchros with it as well. But yeah, really good. 1200 burn does not make you scared for time at all. Tai 2 is a good number, I think. I've found we used to be playing with 3 back in the day, but then we just kept seeing it too much, and so yeah, 2 is fine. Mo Yi, everyone knows what Mo Yi does. It's amazing. Strange enough, the card you draw is always amazing. But yeah, it is a bit triggering sometimes when you draw Mo Yi and then nothing to reveal. But hey, the cost is nothing as always. Please be voted in white. Amazing card. Just extra summon, just becomes Mo Yi or Tai, whatever you want. I still have yet to summon Long Wan off it, whatever. And of course, what people do forget about the card is that she herself is 2 things. One, she's not a worm or a sword soul. So if anyone's summoning Mo Yi and revealing this, you're free to call judge at that moment. But of course, she is a tuner herself. So some cheeky sword soul players would summon like Arch Nemesis Protoss, and then they get like, I don't know, was it Chang Ying on the board and then call water, so you can't summon tokens. Usually you're kind of boned, but if you do open like an Ecclesia, you can synchro that way and just kind of play through it, which is quite nice. But yeah, no, really good card, and anyone who drops a Effect Negate on it deserves to get punished from them because it's a nice quick effect. Anyways, moving on. Adhar, very good. You play 2 just because you play Desires in this build, and it's level 1 tuner, really helps. And the add back is super clutch. I think I added back Protoss off of Banish once. This one's really good because it's any worm, not just Tenyi. And now we get into the heart and soul of this variant, which is the going second cards. This is the going second variant. It's the better variant. Let me tell you why. If you go first of all, you have to win the dice roll, and that's always a very triggering moment in any tournament. You know, oh my god, I hope I roll a 7 or higher, otherwise I'm going to get screwed by X deck. Whereas I did not have any of that fear all day. If anyone won a dice roll against me, I just pretended to be like, oh no, you won a dice roll, and it's like, and that's fine. Because like, I'm starting with 6 cards, and I'm going to rinse your board and play on. The standard Sword Soul board of Baron and was it Chi Zhao and Blackout and maybe Protoss, maybe a hand trap. That's not a good board. I'm gonna tell you why. That's only as a bad board going into an opponent who has a 6-card hand and they have options to play through your stuff. It's not a good board, but it is a good board once you've already rinsed their board and you end on that. And they've got like what 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 cards in hand. And you have that full board. That's much better than the alternative. And who knows? Maybe you just attack the game, which does happen often sometimes. So in order to crack the board, we're playing these big blowout cards, such as Lightning Storm. Was a good card all day. Does what it says on the tin. Nothing more to say. We also play Dark Ruler No More. And this card is also very good. Certain decks better than others, obviously, but for the most part, performed very well all day. Then of course we play Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched, this was probably the MVP card all day. I love this card. This card was insane. I opened it against Branded a bunch, and all these cards I had to I think in today's format we can all kind of agree that most other lists need to commit to the board in a significant fashion in order to be able to withstand lots of decks like Bird Up or I guess kind of normal Swordsoul and maybe even Water Exceeds. That's pretty more off the top of my head. Oh yeah, also PK as well. So this card was insane all day. Like again, my battle phase doesn't matter if I basically win through board advantage anyways, or I can burn you for long one a bit as well. Yeah, this was insane. I resolved this all day, and and of course we're all very well aware of the absolute shattering, abysmal despair we feel when the opponent goes main phase, battle phase, end of battle phase. Yeah, that was pretty fun all day. Best card. Bringing up next is Pop Desires. This card has been cracked all day. You've drawn nothing but good cards, or occasionally you'll draw Desires off of it. Yeah, there's nothing really bad to say. You very, very rarely banish like extremely essential cards. You run free obs of like everything, with the exception of like Bad Horror and Sudden Shift, or even Nemesis. Those are only like I guess kind of vulnerable cards. Most of the time you're playing it first to bait out Ash or something like that, and then usually that goes through. That usually confirms they don't have Ash, because anyone does not Ash a card like Pop Desires, I think is a bit of a fool, but we'll see. And then you just kind of draw into usually like cracked out. So I remember playing this and drawing into 2 Chalice into like a DP board, and it was like, oh yes, let's go. It's a really good card all day, nothing more to say. And of course, in the rare occasion, it can either trigger or just make Shenging massive, which is really essential for playing against AI, which I did not play all day, but my friend, fellow teammate James does play often, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
Of course, coming next, Swordsoul Emergence. There's nothing really much to say about this card. Just wrote for the deck, such as Nemesis Protoss X. Within Chalice, we play this over Droplets. Droplets is really cool. I love Droplets as a card, but the cost is too big in this deck. Going 1-for-1 with Monster Effect Negation is usually enough, and it's fine. I have not been really missing Droplets outside of that rare matchup against Water Exceeds, which I have. I'm just dodging it, but this card just works better against every other deck than that. And of course, in a vacuum, or like you don't have exactly game, your opponent's not doing anything, and then you slap this on top of your Mogi, and then you have game the extra 400 push. It does come up sometimes, not all the time, but it's quite funny when it happens. And then there we are. We have Infinite Impermanence. We're playing this mainly for Bird Up, and I guess kind of a few other matchups. I remember I put this into my deck like a month or two ago, for just a month, at the Canterbury Regional. Guy who I kind of built the deck with, Carl Ross Walker. He is the man with the plan, the brains behind this deck. And he said, put this in your deck right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yes, Sensei, I will do so. And I put the card in the deck, and it saved my life against Bird Up and AI at least like 2 or 3 times in the day.
Wow.
And from that point on, it's just, kind of swear by this card. It's good. And of course, any additional pieces you have on the end board of Swordsoul, so like, you have the Baron, you have the Tijao, any additional negates on top of that usually just like determines game. So if you have an extra set Chalice or an Impermanence, you have game, and occasionally the stun does come up. Mostly, it's just a please don't kill me AI and or please don't kill me Bird Up card.
Okay.
Then finally, in the last card on the list, we have Swordsoul Blackout. This card was fine. I don't think I actually resolved this all day, but I'd rather not take it out. It seems like, really good in theory and whatnot, and the banish is really cool. And, it's in the graveyard, banish it for Taia, you get that token one way or another. It was fine all day. I don't think I ever resolved it, but it's fun. Moving into the extra deck, we're going to go from, top to bottom. So, Monk of the Tenyi, I played 2. I've never required the need to play 3. I think maybe like in very rare scenarios in which your deck is super exhausted, but you probably lost the game state at that point anyways, just like try not to turbo into 2 all the time and you'll be fine. He's just a normal deck just triggers Tenyi. Very good. And the 1k attack is relevant, strange enough. Next we have Shaman of the Tenyi. This card is like super low key broken and really good, but it's very niche in its applications. But like, there's some things to note. So of course it will lock you into not activating any extra monster effects except for Tenyi. But say, oh no, you revive your Cheng-Ying is now come from the graveyard, so it can use this effect. And of course, if you revive a monk and you stick with monk, it has an effect where if you're a non-effect monster you control attacks, you can pop a card on the field. So that can be quite helpful. I think I remember I come up with this card to bring game to a Flunderies player, I think at the very beginning of the game of the day, which is quite helpful. Yeah, Shaman is it's a tricky card to use because of course lots of people will be super or will just forget about the extra deck restriction, but that's a good card and you should always play it. Moving on. Yazi, Evil Diangxing. This is one of those cards which most people be like, okay, when the hell are you ever summoning this card? It's quite tricky to summon it, like because you inherently I need to use the Adhara and the Jinjan Tactician Long 1, or you use Tai and you banish the spell and make one level 3. It has very niche applications, but it is very good because it's just a stepping stone to kind of find a Mo Yi, and then you pop a card and they can't negate it with Impermanence or that kind of stuff. So it does come up, but it is quite rare. I think it's worth playing, but some people I wouldn't blame you to do that. And then we have Barsha. I was playing just one Barsha before going to the event. I was playing a Crimson Blader, but then I kind of had an epiphany, and I realized that I haven't actually summoned Blader in any of the past couple of regionals I played it in, so it's really not worth. Or when I do summon it, I've kind of won anyways, so it's kind of irrelevant. And the Barsha came up today. It is unironically like an MVP card, especially in the going second variant, because you always spin cards that are relevant. I remember spinning a Flowendries M-Pen, because only negates attack position. It's really good. Really good card and lots of value, and I think 2 is a good number so far. I might change my mind. We'll see. And then of course I play Chi Zhao. You don't really need any details. You know what this card does. It's good. Play it. Advantage. Next we have White Aura Whale. I only played this, and it might come out. We'll see. The theory behind this is just because, as I'm sure our gracious host is aware, in the Water Exceeds deck there is a very cheeky combo where you can summon whichever hand shark it is, and then you just make a Crooked Cook, and then you just sit in defense mode and do nothing the entire game. And there's almost no way to get past it in this deck, with the exception of looping Long Wan Burn 6 times, which is not fun for either player. So this card, the theory was it just kind of, it double sticks Pierce into that, which means the Water Exceeds player is forced to play normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Or they have one turn to out it. So that was the entire theory. The other card effects are really cool, but that just doesn't come up, and you can only make it from Mo-Yi.
That's actually really good as well, because even if they pop it with the Kraken, it doesn't matter. It's just going to come straight back.
Yeah, exactly. It comes straight back as a tuna monster in case you're like a crazy man and wants to try some tuna stuff with it. But yeah, no, it was that didn't really come up. But it might come out, but we'll see. The theory is good. I like that anyway. Then Draco Berserker. This card is in the same regards as Shaman, secretly really broken. Just double attack, banish a monster wherever the hell it damn well be is really good. And yeah, it's an extra threat to a lot of cards, like just banishing stuff like Tri Brigade. I remember a few weeks ago at locals, banishing a Tri Brigade kit, activate its effect, and they got, of course, no value from the kit as well. It's amazing. And of course, reviving off Shaman's pretty good as well. But yeah, good card. And of course, very, 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 very cheeky. If you need to, you can turn him into a monk. Moving on, we have Adamant Spider Risen Dragite. This card just exists to kind of help with the Sky Striker matchup mostly. It has very niche summoning requirements. Otherwise, yeah, just a free K monster that says you can negate back row if you have a Mo-Yi in the graveyard. It will come up, but I don't blame you if you don't play it because it is kind of special weapons. Moving on. The Chao Fang, Phantom Diangxing. This card was actually really good on the event day. I played my round 7 match against a live twin deck on table 1, and this card was insane because, of course, half the live twin deck are light monster effects, which they would quite like to activate. And this card just sat there and said, no, that's half your deck and it's gone. It's not activating. It was super strong, and of course, I actually, for the first time I've managed to use its lovely effect where if you run over a monster, you get to summon a worm monster of the corresponding attribute that you've run over. So I just got a free Vishuda, which was quite nice. Yeah, no, really good card, and I found, finally, after months of playing this deck, of never summoning it, I found its application beyond just being a Nibiru shield, really. It's quite nice. And then moving on to pens, we have Baron. I think everything that's been said about this card has already been said. It's good, gets a free pop effect that it has no business having. And yeah, that's really it. It's just a good card. Moving on, Cheng Ying. Good level 10 card, gets big, banishes stuff, can protect itself. Is MVP against like Eldlick in case you have that matchup, which I did not. Yeah, no, good card. Not much to say. And then moving on, Ready Rose Dragon. I summoned this once against a PK player and kind of sealed the deal. He had like nothing in hand or one card, maybe less, I don't know. And I rinsed his board, and I summoned this, and we just picked up our graveyards and put them in the banish pile, and then he quickly scooped. It's a very good card, and yeah, no, it's worth playing, especially a PK, could see a resurgence, or any graveyard deck really. It really kind of comes up quite nice. And 3/2, I don't know, that comes up occasionally. Let's see, then moving on to the side deck, we're going to go from top to bottom. Artifact Landslayer, I don't think that this card came up much at all today, because it's only really in as like a bird up kind of counter. It has applications elsewhere, I guess. You kind of use it against what you call it, the Alistair the Invoker deck. You can. I don't think it's that good, but hey, the option's there. It's just it just turns off the Tri Brigade, which means I can't end on full board, which means Oath cannot really be live, which means one Dark Will No More will rinse their, will turn their whole board off, and you can rinse them. That's so the theory goes, anyways. Yeah, no, I didn't play Bird Up all day, so I didn't really side this in much. Then we have Drawn Lockbird. This card is also a bird up side deck card, because that's kind of a really tricky board to crack a lot of the time. But yeah, no, this card was fine. Didn't really see it much, and I think I completely missed it. And I think I lost my very last match of the day. I say lost. I think I was probably lost anyways. But there was a ruling that came up with El Shadol Apokalone, and he played like what's it called, Medea Servant. I draw my draw So he plays the Medea Servant. He mills Apokalone, picks up whatever, and then he declares Apokalone in the following chain. I chain this on top, and I thought that you still had you had to put back the Apokalone and then discard, to get like a hard minus. But apparently it was ruled, and I now understand that no, they don't have to discard because you technically didn't add to hand. I was confused, so I'm never siding this card in against that deck again, because outside of them activating Magical Meltdown is just not helpful. So it's just good against bird up, really, and I guess niche matchups otherwise. But hey, it's troll. It has its time. Then we have Feather Duster, backer removal. Not much said. Not much left to say. Cosmic Cyclone. Yeah, just banish the Scythe. Banish anything you really need to. Flow injuries stuff helps. Backer removal, etc., etc. Very good guard. Formidable Day. Anti-Spell Fragrance. It's the and Imperial Order. These are basically the same card from my perspective. You're just playing 4 of it. If you end on stat with this deck, what sometimes you need to do against certain decks, and you need to know what these matchups are. Usually they're Dogma or like Bird Up. You need to take a chance where you side in, you kind of side out your board wipes and side in turn 1 cards, and just kind of hope you draw into this, or it's best fake them out or something, because they're going to usually, if you're going to try and take second every time, that's not always the case. And so the standard Swordsoul board with an anti-spell, that's usually super enough to win all the time. Unless they have a super cracked hand and you just can't really do anything about it. So there's the thing. 2 cards. I am of the opinion of everyone else. Please ban Imperial Order. It's not fun, especially when you lose the entire game to it. It's funny when you have it and you play against Sky Striker or against AI and they open up 5 spells, but realistically it's not a fun card. It should be banned. And then finally, Red Reboot. This card is necessary, and you probably should side it in against all the decks which can play Dimensional Barrier or Harpy's Featherstorm or those annoying cards, and you just want to play normally afterwards. You won't always draw it, but when you do, you'll be damn happy you have it. It'll be a very fun duel from then on. But yes, that is the entire profile. I guess, speaking of the event, I went undefeated going into the last round. I played against the guy who won the event. He was quite nice, and I lost that game, I want to say, to myself a little bit, but also because he was a good player. But yeah, it was a fun day, and at that point, we both confirmed we were pretty much getting really good prizes, top 4. So it was quite a relaxed game compared to every other game of the day. It was a lovely event, and I think I'm blanking the name of the POs right now, but they were fantastic.
It was Living Realms. Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me, Simeon?
I think probably my main question is, how many people so did people figure out after game 1? Did people kind of figure out you were doing a blind second build, and then were people making you go first? And then did that even have an effect if they did do that?
Usually the thing is, some decks can't afford to make me go first and allow me to try and Protoss.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a resolved Protoss that scares people the most, and they don't, and their deck is inherently worse because I know sometimes they don't side cards which can actually break that board or play through it. So most of the time, I don't think there was a single player the entire day that said, "Oh no, you go first" or something, game 2 or something. They always kept taking first because they needed like the extra establishment advantage.
So that's really awesome.
I guess not really, no.
Yeah, so I guess that's really awesome then, because it basically means that, you just pretty much always got to apply your game plan. And that's actually, I just realised that's actually a really awesome synergy. Having the Protoss as a threat on top of going second means that you know what they're playing going into game 2. So yeah, if they force you to go first, they're really shafted, to be honest. But,
yeah, exactly. They're between a rock and a hard place, and it's like, can you play under Protoss and possibly a couple of negates, or do you want to risk getting blown out? Because of course, with every deck, you don't draw perfectly all the time. Sometimes you're going to open a combination of blowouts and plays, which is ideal. Sometimes you'll open only plays. Sometimes you'll open only blowouts. It happens, but most of the time you're going to get a good synergy and just blow through what they have.
Yeah, definitely. So then, I guess, and then my only other question would be, then in your side deck, what would you have instead of the Lanciers then, if they weren't as impactful? What would you replace those with?
I think it's just because I didn't play much Bird Up. I think Bird Up was the most represented deck, so I think I'll keep them in for now because I think Bird Up is still the biggest threat out of all the decks I'm going up against. So I'm not sure what I would change it for. I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately, but I think I was correct in assuming Bird Up was going to be the most anticipated matchup. But hey, moving forward with Brave Token stuff, I'm not sure what I'll do with that. I'll probably talk to my team and players and see what we come up with.
Okay, awesome. Well, no, really, really good job, Michael. You did an amazing job. And I guess, do you want to give a shout out to your team or to anyone else?
Yes, shout outs number 1 to Carl Ross Walker, because unfortunately I have had a horrible habit of forgetting to shout out him. He is the man with the plan. He's the guy who is super enthusiastic about this deck. And pretty much you should attribute all the card choices to him, because I've been taking his lead. He's very good at this. You will also find him at Mana Screw Locals. Let's see. Also, we have my team or what do we call it? Sponsors Gem Jam Cards UK. Please go onto the eBay store. You will find, I imagine, discount codes. I think another channel shout out would be Rufio. I believe he does a few shout outs for them, and he has a discount code you could use from there. Yes, please visit the store, buy cards, buy the nice shiny cardboard you like, and it will make everyone happy, including yourself. And I think that's everyone so far. Thank you very much.
Cool, perfect. Yeah, so really good job, dude. I'm definitely sure we're going to be seeing more of you and more of your awesome deck in the future. So that was guys, that was Go Second Sword Soul. I'm definitely going to have to give this deck a try as well. But thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.